Alright guys, so in this episode, something happened with the audio recording, and so my commentary is not usable because it's in awful quality. It's really bad. So, I'm just gonna be commenting in post about the things we do in this episode. So, yeah. So, in this episode, we're going to be going around and doing an important little side questy thing, namely the grubs. So one thing I did, I was just fidgeting around and just moving while talking in this episode and realized that I never actually got this Hallownest seal, in, King Station. So there's that. I had thought I had showed that, but I guess I didn't. So that's a good little thing to do. You do not actually need double jump for this. It's just a bit trickier to get up there. But, yeah. So over in this area of Kingdom's Edge, there are two entrances to the City of Tears. We want the one in the middle, the one like middle vertically, like there's three, then they're vertical, that one right there. You want to go through there, because we got the love key in the Queen's Gardens. So now we can access this area. And if we go down this way, we see some glass jars that typically contain grubs but are empty, or contain little monsters. So by flipping this switch, we can now access this area from that little entrance point right next to King Station. But anyway, so yeah, this is the Tower of Love, a very interesting area with a lot of padding on the walls. I wonder what love is really meant to mean in this game. Undertale, haha. No, okay. So going through this way, we're seeing more of these glass jars with early game enemies in them, and also some City of Tears enemies, while hearing strange and creepy laughter along with grub noises that don't sound very pleasant. I forgot if we hear it in this recording, but there's even a part where you can hear the grub gagging, which is really not. I don't like it. I don't like that. Bad touch. Stranger danger. So in this room, we have found the Collector. A strange, maniacally laughing, shadowy creature. He attacks by jumping around at you, and then jumping up into the ceiling, and then coming back down. Whenever he jumps into the ceiling, he will usually drop a few glass jars that usually will contain some enemies, some won't. These enemies can range from french flies to aspids to boulders. And I think that's really all that he drops in them. The boulders are hard to notice and will usually be the ones that will hit you the most, so you want to be careful. The Collector can also jump towards you and then slash at you with his hands, and there we see him staggering. And when he's staggering, his face is a little drippy. In this fight, I couldn't actually get him to stay staggering because I was using Weaver Song, which, yes, that is the biggest downside of Weaver Song, is that staggering bosses basically don't have their stagger periods because they get hit by the Weavers. But yeah, and as you notice also, whenever he gets hit, there's that black essence that comes out of him, that also comes out of us when we take damage, or when we explode when we die. It's very interesting. You may also notice that his theme is the same theme that's used for mid-bosses like the Grub Mother, but it's a bit distorted, and I very much like that. It fits him very well, because he's just supposed to be a weird, unnatural, unnerving, creepy dude. And as you can see here, once he loses all his health, he goes into a period where he's just standing there and you have to hit him a bunch of times for his last bit of health, and then he goes nuts, just exploding with all this black essence coming out of him, and he just simply falls over and melts. And here's his entry. Dark figure locked inside the Tower of Love, preserves Hallownest's creatures in glass jars with a particular attention given to grubs. A shadow that sometimes flits through the caverns, making strange noises to itself. I've never seen it clearly, so I have no idea what type of creature it is. Also, you may have noticed that I was not actually gaining any soul from hitting him. I was only gaining soul because I had Grub Song on, and because when you have Grub Song, the little weavers will give you some essence when they touch a boss, which is very nice. But yeah, he gives no essence. No soul, sorry. So after you beat him, you can access this next floor of the tower. On this next floor, we have 3 grubs. And a little office chair with a desk and a window. And this window actually overlooks the city if you look at it from the map. We are right there. So we take this. We have taken the collector's map. This is an upgrade to the map. Basically, you now will have a pin showing you where every grub is. This is very helpful for getting all the grubs and getting all the rewards from the grub father. That's the main objective of this area, the main prize. There's also this little secret that is, it doesn't do anything. It's just a little Easter egg. It's some sort of either map or like diagram. I think some people have been saying that it's a map based on some of the ways some of those lines work, that it actually kind of resembles the tram lines, or not the tram lines, the stag station lines. I don't know. It's just a weird little thing. So now that we have the collector's map, there are only a few grubs that I've missed so far. I've made sure to get as many as I can. So basically this episode is just gonna be me going back and getting all the grubs. So let's do it. So before we do that, I just want to take notice to this background object that I noticed when I was looking for the first grub. Those of you who have played through all this game and know all about it might be interested in the particular shape of this thing here, this little like window thingy. And by the end of the series, everyone watching will also be intrigued by this, I'm sure. I don't really know what it means, but it has a striking resemblance to something later in the game. So yeah, very interesting. So the first grub we missed is actually in this little room in the city, that all it contains is the grub and a husk sentry. And I want to quickly make a note that Sharp Shadow is a very good charm for dealing with the sentries, so, you know. Next up, we're going to be taking Eternal Emilta's shortcut into the Royal Waterways. Our next grub is over here in Yzma's Grove. We're just gonna climb over to it, and I'm actually very surprised that I missed this one. I feel like I went over here before, but I guess I didn't. Next, we're going into Kingdom's Edge, because there is actually an entrance to the waterways from here that I guess I forgot about, or I didn't see. I don't know if I just went in there and then went back in because I was like, oh, I don't want to go in there yet. But yeah, there's this little entrance. This little entrance leads to this body of water with some crystals indicating that you should super dash across. And this takes you a while. This is actually a shortcut into the Royal Waterways, specifically into the area near Yzma's Grove. In this long shortcut room, there is actually a grub. Yzma's tier is very much recommended for this, but yeah, you want to go over here where these enemies are and climb up this way, and go through here. And falling through there will actually just bring you back to the start of it, but if we go back and go over to the left, there is the grub. So yeah. So this next grub is in the hive. This one is actually very hard to get. Well, not hard to get, but it's hard to notice. It's a very elusive one. So you want to get up on this wall, super dash. I messed it up there. You want to get up all the way up here on this wall. You want to super dash, stop, and then jump up here. And then it's just a little tunnel, break some honey walls. And there you go. This next one I feel like I thought I got, or maybe I think I don't know, I feel like I remember taking note of it and then just forgetting to go for it. So you want to get up on this platform, super dash over here, and get this grub near the entrance to the teacher's archives. Now this next one is actually in Deep Nest. It's hard to tell because on the map it also looks like it's right by fungal wastes. For grubs that you can't tell which area it's in, just go to that area and then check the map by holding down the button instead of using like the menu map, because if you hold down the button then you'll only see that area and everything within it. when we go down here, this little ledge here is a breakable wall. So yeah, this grub is right here in Deep Nest, in this little area, and it's actually also very tough to notice. So down here there is a grub mimic. I actually got fooled by that because I forgot that they do the meow, and that they also do that before you kill them. And there's actually something I don't think I touched on with the grub mimics. If you dreamnail a grub, you will sometimes get you'll get one of two things: either direct dialogue that just says home, or the type of dreamnail dialogue that you get from dreamnailing enemies, where it doesn't bring up a little box, it just flashes it on screen. And so the grub mimics will say things like empty and kill. So that's how you know that those are grub mimics. I do go and kill those just to get Hunter's Journal entries for them, because, you know, Hunter's Journal. Again, I'm not going to be 100%ing the Hunter's Journal, but it's nice to at least get a bunch. I think I actually forgot whether or not it's you get all of the different basic entries in order to receive his mark, or if you have to get all of the extended entries. But either way, I'm not getting all of the extended entries. But we will be seeing every kind of enemy there is, so, you know. The last grub is here in Crystal Peak. This little thing here that I actually thought, I didn't really notice it as like an area you can go down. You might, I don't know, you might go past it and not even realize you can go down into this room. It's kind of tough to notice. And you wouldn't imagine a room would be in the area where you're just meant to super dash. And this right here is actually a grub mimic. This is the last one we need in order to get the entry for them. Assumes the shape of a harmless creature to lure prey, luring an enemy close by pretending to be a weak little grub. Very cunning. Unfortunately for them, I eat these grubs as soon as I see them. Yeah. Behind the grub mimic is actually a breakable wall. And in here is the real grub. So, that brings us to 46 grubs, all of them. And it's also been a while since I went to the Grub Father and claimed my rewards, so we're gonna get a whole bunch of geo for each grub. And then also, for, I forget how many grubs you need in order to get this King's Idol, but there's the King's Idol. And then for rescuing every single grub. Give it a second. Give it lots of money. There it is. Grubberfly's Elegy. Contains the gratitude of grubs who will move on to the next stage in their lives. Imbues weapons with holy strength. When the bear is at full health, they will fire beams of white-hot energy from their nail. So yes, this is the... Every single indie game has to have a Zelda reference in it. No, but really. This is the, you know, the Zelda shoot sword beams when you're at full health. And it's very nice. It is a pretty decent charm. Obviously, the downside is that when you're not at full health, the charm does absolutely nothing and just takes up 3 notches. But it is recommended to use for certain bosses, for certain strategies. A particularly hard boss, in fact. I don't usually use it for that boss, but hey. The charm is definitely useful for a certain quest involving a flower that we will be doing. And also for Fog Canyon enemies that you don't want to get too close to. The charm is also particularly helpful for fighting Fluke Marm, as you don't really need to jump up to hit her. You can just stand underneath her and keep attacking. Unfortunately, the range of the little projectiles is not actually affected by Longnail Mark of Pride, just the size of them. And for specifics about the projectile, it is 50% of your normal nail damage. But if you have fragile strength, it will do 76% nail damage. Also, surprisingly, if you combine this with Fury of the Fallen, you'll be able to shoot beams again when you're at 1 health. These beams will be red and will have 70% nail damage, so it can be something. I still don't suggest it because you have to be at specific health ranges, but you know. Also, if you wear this with Grub Song, the amount of soul you gain when getting hit doubles. Actually, slightly more than doubles, but you know. Also, if you really want to use this charm, I would highly recommend using Lifeblood Core and or Heart, because it only counts your normal masks of health and not Lifeblood masks. So you can actually get a hit a few times and still shoot beams. I don't think this works with Joni's Blessing though. I think it only works when you use Lifeblood, Core, or Heart. And now for something that may make you feel a bit twisted at first. If you go back into this room after resting at a bench, you will find that the Grub Father has eaten all of the grubs. But don't worry, this is not horrible. This is actually inferred to be the next stage of their life, as the charm itself states. Assumedly, the Grub Father is acting as a cocoon, and the rest of the grubs will eventually emerge as beautiful butterflies. Or grubberflies, I guess. Also, you can bounce on them, which is nice, and they add an animation for when he gets hit. They did not always have that, so I like that. You just go like, ooh. This is very good. But yeah. Also, I went to check because I noticed that there's only one charm we don't have, not counting the fact that the white fragment is only half a charm. And I wanted to go see if what's her name would give us the her blessing. If that last charm doesn't count for it, but no, it does. We need every charm in order to get her blessing. So yeah. But anyway, on the way to her shop, we got the extended entry for the Slobbering Husk. The infection that swept through Hallownest so long ago. They say that the harder you struggled against it, the more it consumed you. Spooky stuff. And with that, that is all that we did today in this episode. So yeah, sorry again for the audio it kind of ended up messing up and not really working right. But I hope you still enjoyed this episode, and I hope it helped. But yeah, in the next episode, there's only a few other things that I know I keep saying, oh yeah, a few little things, and then we're gonna go to the final fight, and I keep not going to the final fight, but hey, there's a lot in this game, and there's a lot of things I want to do before I go to the final fight, little touch-ups. But yeah, in the next episode, unless something, maybe I changed my plans, but maybe we'll go and do that particular thing that involves a flower that veterans of this game will be excited to see me fail at. But yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.